Hi, it's a Lipstick Gal. Thanks so much for watching today. I have to get ready so quickly today, and I'm going to try and do my best and do that because I have to go help at a fundraiser at one of my kids' schools. So I'm just gonna start in. I'll list everything I'm using in the description box down below. I'm not gonna stop and tell you because I gotta go. But my youngest is in orchestra at their high school, and next school year they're planning on traveling to Italy for orchestra. And so we're trying to raise funds to make sure that it's easy for every single kid to go. Um, Boy, it's going to be an expensive trip. I think it's like 5,500 or 6,000 per kid. And my youngest was like, "Mom, you want to come?" I was like, "Sweetheart, I can't come up with that much money for me and for you. You is one thing, me and you is another, because the fundraising only helps the kids." Anyway, I would love to go. I just don't see that in the cards. So today, what we're doing is we are making apple pie and pressing apple cider. We live in the state of Washington, so apples are very bountiful where we live. It's one of those things where an apple fundraiser makes a lot of sense. So instead of just selling apples, we're selling apple pies, homemade apple pies, as well as fresh pressed apple cider. And so I've already purchased an apple pie. Now I have to go and make it. So some people got together yesterday, made all the pie dough for I think 600 to 650 pies, double crust pies. And then they've been resting overnight. And today is the day where we get together, a whole bunch of us, and we roll everything out. And we don't want any of the kids rolling because, like, if you aren't careful with pie crust, it just becomes like a hard piece of leather. So the kids are in charge of chopping and apples and putting filling in pies. But those of us who've done a lot of pie work in the past are in charge of rolling out the double crusts. So I will be rolling pie crust. My arms are going to be so tired by the end of the day. They're doing it in shifts though, which is very nice. So half the day will be taken up by the morning crew, and I'm going to be there in the afternoon, my husband and I. My husband's a big time baker. I love this. Years ago when we got married, neither one of us were really good at doing anything in the kitchen. We were both learning, and that's what happens, I think, in marriage. Like when your mom's not around to make food for you, you got to figure it out for yourself. And so I learned how to cook, and because I enjoyed cooking so much, I like baking too. I did a lot of baking when I was a kid, but my husband really fell into baking after we had children, and really, really enjoyed it. So he does a lot of scones, a lot of biscuits. He's not much of a bread baker, but he's really good since he does a lot of quick breads. He's really good at following any recipe. And we do a lot of baking around the holidays and special treats around the holidays. So he is so good to have in the kitchen. So he and I are going to go and help with the crusts today. And the goal, I think, last year, if I'm remembering correctly, they sold 550 pies. This year, the pre-sales have gotten them way past what they normally do because they sell pies for those who just walk up who don't pre-order. And I think there's a good chance that they're going to sell 650 or more pies. Other than that, it's going to be kind of like, as well, it won't be a slow day. I was going to say, we have nothing else to do today. But the reason we don't have anything else to do today is because we planned to do this special fundraiser for our youngest's orchestra. Lily is sometimes complains about having to practice. And I'm always reminding Lily, I'm like, "Sweetheart, I know you don't like to practice. No one likes to practice. You know, at this age, I remember being 14 and not wanting to do any of it. But both of my kids are a much better musician than I was at the age that they're at. They're so good. They also started taking music lessons before I did. I didn't start until I was in third grade. And my youngest started in first grade and my oldest started in second grade. So they've been playing for quite a long time. I think my youngest has been playing for 9 years now. And I mean, really good. Like, I'm so impressed with what they're able to do, both of the kids. But there are those moments where I have to like really encourage them to get around to playing when all they want to do is like play a video game or read a book or watch a show. And I'm like, guys, gotta do this. And the good thing is, with this trip to Europe happening next year, I know that if one of the students isn't really performing the way they're supposed to, they'll probably just get cut from orchestra. And I'm just like, if you really want to go, you got to make sure you keep practicing. So I'm trying not to be too like hardcore with it, but I definitely have been encouraging my kids quite a lot, and having a trip to Europe as a kind of like an encouragement really does help my youngest get to doing the things that sometimes just doesn't want to do. I would be interested to know, if you have kids, how do you get your kids, or how did you get your kids to do those sorts of things when they just don't want to? Because I'm tired of, always using the perspective of, well, when you're a grown up, you'll have to make these decisions for yourself. You have to be self-motivated, or kind of like the fear factor. If you don't practice, you won't be able to go on the trip. And they're very excited about, like, my oldest is kind of like, man, I wish I was in orchestra. They had been in orchestra before as one of the pianists, but they only needed one pianist. And they already have, I think, one person who is their dedicated pianist, but also plays cello and string bass. And so there is that aspect of my daughter, my oldest, who just plays piano, goes, Mom, they already have a pianist. They don't need another one. I like the idea that my kids want to travel. I did a lot of traveling when I was younger too. My parents took us to a lot of places. So yesterday there was one of the first performances for the orchestra, and we went to go listen to that yesterday. They did so good. Like, school's been in session. They just finished the first quarter, so they've only had like a quarter of the year. And I was so impressed with what they sounded like already. I was like, wow, they're sounding really good. And I know by the end of the year, they're going to sound even better. But I'm so proud of my kids. They're such great musicians. If I didn't mention it, Lily, my youngest, plays violin. That's one of those things that's really important in our family. We do a lot of music in our family. My husband plays guitar, bass, wants to get a string bass because he used to play string bass when he was in college, but that's a very large and very expensive instrument. I play the harp. I don't know that I would say I play piano, but I can. But it's not my primary instrument. But that's why we kind of leave the piano playing to our oldest. She's really, really good. She has a performance coming up. There is a local piano group that has performances in November every year for young artists, and they support and maintain pianos at a lot of different public locations. So like the Public Performing Arts Center, they maintain like the tuning and the repair for any of it. And when they need new pianos for new public places around town, they're the ones that fund that. So the local piano group always has a young artist kind of night. And last year my daughter played for it for the first time, and it was so cool, and has been invited to, back again to play for this year. This stuff, by the way, this Lisa Eldridge Liquid Silk, has been so good, so easy on the days when I want a little something, but not too much. There we go. Like, look how easy that is. That's what I love about this stuff. I like the liquid Lurex as well, the shiny ones, but this liquid silk, the matte ones, chef's kiss. Perfect. I'm going to throw on a little bit of liner. Boy, I'm so close to being done, and that's good because I'm like, I gotta go. I feel like I'm down to the parts where I can't talk while I'm putting on makeup, or catastrophe could happen. And of course, on a day when I'm in a rush, would I sneeze and get stuff below the eyeball? Of course, of course. Last thing I'm gonna do is throw on one of the new Rouge Experience lipsticks. This is the shade Lisa. This is day 4 of me having these 7 lipsticks. I've been wearing a new shade every day. And the good thing I'll tell you is that not a single one so far has bled outside of my lip line. I don't know what ingredient there is in here, but these don't bleed and I don't need a lip liner, and I love that. All right, got it done as quickly as possible. I'm just gonna take the lipstick in my pocket. I have to make sure I don't let it go through the wash accidentally, because I'm sure I'm gonna be covered in flour and pie dough at the end of the day. Thank you so much for watching. Here's what I wanna know. On those days when you've gotta get ready super quick, what do you reach for? Do you reach for stuff that is tried and true, or do you go for like the most minimal, like I have 3 things and these are the 3 things I always put on? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching today. Don't forget to check the description box for all the things that I used if you were curious at all. I'll see you again soon. Bye.